Here we are again with yet another episode of the Geek Out, and this is episode number 15. 15. That's a lot of episodes. And we have some familiar faces here today. And again, I forgot to introduce, I'm going to get rid of Tiffany. She's gone. Do this right. Now we get to see the Geek Out logo, because that's, the whole point. Just then, ta-da, here's Tiffany. But we have Lauren. We have Robert.
Waffle.
We have Kiefer.
Hi.
And we have Tiffany! There's the reveal. And we have one topic today. Again, that's going to be a common thing for now in the future. One topic. And the big topic, and this is mostly because of viewers that you're not commenting and letting us know what you want us to talk about. So we're just kind of making it up as we go. So if you use the comments and let us know what to talk about. Whoa, I got blurry. Whoa! That happens. That's what happens if you don't do it. And if you do comment, then we know what to talk about. And then we can, rock your world with some crazy conversation. But for today's topic, it's one topic. And it is all based on Milla Jovovich. And really is, what is Milla Jovovich best film? It could be, maybe she just blew your mind in her acting. Like Milla was like the greatest actor in the world. Or... who knows? Maybe she had a pretty dress and you're like, oh, that was cool. I don't know. But anyways, we have a lot of movies that are out there that star Milla Jovovich. And from Resident Evil to Chaplin, she's been all over the place. So we're going to discuss what impressed you the most. And I'm throwing it out there now.
I think Robert should go first.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think, Robert?
I got introduced to her in the Resident Evil franchise, and the franchise has been weird, but it's been pretty cool. So I like her in that. Fifth Element, she was in it. I think that was more of a Bruce Willis. Chris Tucker was in it, some other people, but she was interesting as well. And she also was interesting in Zoolander. I think I forgot 102. But if you're talking about the movie that she's the current star of the franchise, it could be Resident Evil. And just all the zombies and killing everything else. She definitely portrays a nice kick professional fighter, zombie hunter. So that would be in terms of her movies, that would be my number one choice. I don't know a lot of her other movies. I haven't watched them. But yeah, Resident Evil would be my top. Milla, whatever her face is name.
There's a lot of O's and V's. It's sometimes hard to say.
But that's my opinion so far.
I know Kiefer has been he's been binging movies to be able to have some knowledge about Milla, because he didn't quite have enough to be able to have to create an opinion last time. So now he has the knowledge. He has absorbed just all of this great movie madness, and now I'm sure he has an opinion. What do you think, Keith?
Well, I saw Resident Evil, The Fifth Element, Ultraviolet, and Joan of Arc. Out of all those, I feel like Joan of Arc, she had the best acting in general. Resident Evil and Ultraviolet, I feel like out of those two, Resident Evil was better. Ultraviolet was good in the first half, and then second half it dipped, and I didn't understand what was happening. It was just weird, and the plot didn't make much sense after a certain point. And it was just like plot convenience after plot convenience after plot convenience, and then for Fifth Element, that one, I thought that one was fun. How they had great 3D graphics, animation, and such. They had a lot of great actors. It was a fun movie. She did well in it, and it was just a fun movie overall. But Joan of Arc, that one was just a good movie, and it was just fun. I liked it.
I feel like I remember Chaplin actually being a pretty good movie too. It's been quite a while since I saw it. It's I'd be curious to see her in more movies that really showcase her as an actor instead of just an action star. But I feel like she actually probably has some pretty good chops that we just don't get to see very often.
I wonder in some of her action movies if she reads the script. and even she looks at the director and goes, I don't get this. I have no idea what's going on. I mean,
Well-
like, she's probably like Kiefer. Like, this whole second half of the movie, I've played it, like, every scene 60 times as we shot it over and over again, and I still don't know what's going on.
Well, her current husband, is the director for a lot of those action flicks.
Lucky guy.
Actually. Well, I mean, for me, I think that she was, of course, the best in Fifth Element, because The Fifth Element is a great movie, fantastic, and she's just a lot of fun. It kind of fits with her character, both kicky butt and being kind of, really girly in a way. She was actually, I guess, dubbed the Queen of Kick Butt in 2006 from doing all the different violent movies. Ultraviolet, you're right, made no sense whatsoever. They did some interesting things cinematically, as far as with the sort of comic book elements, you know what I'm saying, that they put in there. But yeah, crap movie. Absolute, made no sense. I couldn't say that she really did much acting in it. She just basically made faces and kicked butt, So, she actually does make some pretty good faces. But yeah, the Resident Evil movies, I've seen 2 out of the 5 or 6 of them, because I just, I have trouble keeping with things that go past 2 or 3, unless it's Star Wars. I would love to have seen, because I think that probably in the Joan of Arc, when she did some actual acting, where in a lot of them she just makes faces and kicks butt. She was great in Zoolander as Kentika, but that's because it was a crazy character and it was really fun. I liked her in that one. But I actually went to the movie theater and saw Monster Hunter, the new one that she's in. And yeah, basically it's off of a video game, like Resident Evil was off a video game. And yeah, it didn't make a whole lot of sense. There were elements in it that just, at one point they're in a spider's lair and they're all cocooned. And what happens after that, it would be a spoiler if I told you, but it doesn't make any sense at all. But, it was your typical Milla movie. She comes in, she kicks some butt, and she moves on and makes a lot of faces. And but yeah, Fifth Element, #1 so far for me.
She is really, Mila's all over the place, and it's really hard because as a geek, I have interests that kind of fall into multiple different categories. So when it comes to really good acting, that's important. So I agree with Kiefer. Joan of Arc, yeah, is a good option there. I really do like The Fifth Element. For me, I believe The Fifth Element was one of those things that was kind of ahead of its time, and also they just, I guess it's not so much ahead of its time as much as they just got the right cast together. They all played off of each other so well, and they had fun. Once again, there's nothing like bringing a bunch of people together that just mesh and have fun with what they do. So Fifth Element is definitely going to be a classic right there. So Joan of Arc's cool. Fifth Element. Resident Evil, also the geek side of me, it just loves Resident Evil. But the problem is I can't really vote on Resident Evil based on Mila's acting or performance. She did a really good job on a lot of those fighting scenes and everything else. There is, all the reasons are wrong. Like a provocative scene, it seems like that. It's like, oh, yeah, well, that's not a reason to enjoy the actress, and compliment her. So all the other things is just that draws me into Resident Evil is just the geek factor. That's like the only Resident Evil game that I enjoyed playing was the first one, so that movie came the closest to me in terms of what I've played. And then you have the Red Queen was fun. The girl that they selected for that, her voice was just perfect for that. And I just love that. You're all going to die down here. It's so suspenseful and fun at the same time. And then Michelle Rodriguez was flipping awesome in that movie. And so, but that doesn't help Milla, so I lean towards The Fifth Element myself.
Yes.
Definitely.
Well, it's such a good movie. I mean, and it's just got all kinds of different little elements in it, and yeah, it's just fun. One of my favorite scenes in that movie has nothing to do with Milla. It's when the Chinese food guy is at his window and they're talking and he's making him the food. I love that. And then, yeah, that's one of my favorite scenes. I wish we could have that stuff now. Would be fun. But yeah, so that was actually one of my favorite scenes. And then when he puts everybody in the different, like in the refrigerator and in the shower and in the bed, and they all get ready for the next one, that was great. Mm.
It's nice that they're able to create so many awkward and unique characters and made it work. I mean, Milla's character was just so out there for her, and she destroyed it. She did a great job, a good destroy. I mean, right. she rocked it, and so did everybody else. Tucker and everybody else is just their characters are just so all over the place, and yet it all came together and worked.
That's great.
So any final thoughts on Milla Jovovich? Any suggestions for Milla Jovovich, just in case she happens to come across this video?
No, you know what? I think she could just keep kicking butt. That works. I mean, like I said, I went to see the Monster Hunter partly because it was, a kick butt kind of movie and one of the few new movies out right now. So, and because it was going to be a lot of monsters and stuff, I wanted to see it on big screen. And, it's fun enough to go see and have some popcorn and enjoy your movie. It's not the greatest movie. Parts of it make very little sense, but parts of it are pretty good. And, yeah, so I don't know. She can keep doing what she's doing. It's fine. It's great. We have a good time with it. And, I don't think she'll ever top Fifth Element, though, as a movie for me. I just love that movie so much.
Has anybody seen one of her older movies? It's not old, but I think it was early 2000s, or maybe 2008, 2007, but the movie Dummy?
No. Don't even know what it's about.
Never heard of it.
Forgot the one actor's name, the gentleman that plays the main character, but he's pretty, he's a ventriloquist, and she's his girlfriend or something. And but supposedly a really good movie. I haven't seen it myself, but I saw a preview for it, and I'm like, that did not ever fall on my radar, I guess, when it came out.
I've never even heard of it.
Nope. What about Paradise Hills? That's the more recent one, and that one's interesting. It's different. It's definitely very, very abstract. But she plays the kind of like she's kind of like the lead bad person there.
Okay, so Dummy, the description of it, this is a family show, right? Was it a TV show or a movie?
Movie.
Okay, so let's see. Then the description might be different. Yeah, it's very different from the TV show.
I do think I saw, let me look down at her filmography. I do think I saw that she played a guest role on Parker Lewis Can't Lose back in the 90s. Did anyone else watch that?
I watched that this morning, yes.
Yeah?
We have a TV series.
I love that show.
It was funny.
What is that show about?
Oh, I remember so little about it. The description is for a cool high school kid and his friends. Thwarting authority figures and other enemies is not a problem. So basically, it's your standard, 90s high school sitcom kind of, yeah.
Interesting. Huh. Yeah, she was in Hellboy as the Blood Queen, of course.
She was. Yep.
Paradise Hills. Don't know.
Paradise Hills is the one I've just brought up. She was the Duchess.
Yeah.
She was in charge. It was very fantasy is definitely the best word in terms of its genre. It was definitely a fantasy movie. It was just all over the place, very abstract, but it wasn't bad, but it wasn't really movie of the year either. But it definitely was one of those movies that kind of didn't make it onto anybody's radar. I guess it kind of slipped right through, came in and left, and most probably don't even know it exists even to today. But I mean, it came out last year, so. But there's
a lot of movies that she's been in that I've never even heard of.
Oh yeah.
Faces in the Crowd, Bringing Up Bobby. Lucky Trouble.
Future World.
That one looks like it might be. Lucky Trouble looks like it might be in another country, because she's from the Ukraine, so originally, though she moved out when she was younger. So The Fourth Kind. What is that about?
Three
I don't even.
Musketeers. Yep, she's all over the place.
Good Lord.
And
Cirque
lots
du
of voice
Soleil.
credits. They
Most
used her
of
just because she's European looking. She'll blend in. Throw in her. She'll be a background.
Okay, The Dummy. There you go. That was 2002.
Yep. Oh yeah, she was in Cuffs. I forgot about that.
Cuffs.
Totally forgot
Oh yeah, that
about
was a good movie.
Yeah,
That
that was a fun movie. I wouldn't say she played I mean, she did all right, but
So
was it one of the
they
best
made
movies?
Fifth Element into a video game apparently.
They did.
Yeah, right here it's the Fifth Element video game, 1998, and she voices Lilu, of course. I don't know what. Let me see if I can click on it and find out what video game platform this was on.
Return to the Blue Lagoon.
Yeah, that's a terrible, probably terrible. Yeah, it doesn't say what it's on.
PlayStation. It says PlayStation on here.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, she was in Dazed and Confused? Wow, she played Michelle in Dazed and Confused.
So any last thoughts about Milla Jovovich? I guess we have no advice for her except to keep going for Tiffany. It looks like she's doing a good job so far. So keep it up, Milla. Don't give up. Keep going and pushing on, and maybe no more Resident Evil movies, please. I mean, if it's your husband that's directing, just let him know. Just let it go. It's done. Move. It's cool. It's great. It's been a great franchise. Move on to something else and challenge himself with something more artistic. Okay, I think we're way off topic now, so I think we'll close it off there and say that we've definitely covered Milla Jovovich pretty well here.
Sure.
Milla, keep it up. You're doing a great job. You're a beautiful person. Yeah, so there you have it. And for everybody watching this, use the comment section below and let us know what to talk about, or else we're just going to babble about random things like Milla Jovovich. I mean, that's random. We just pulled that out of nowhere out of the last episode. And that became this topic. So give us something to talk about. Maybe we will choose your idea. So use the comment section below on this video or any of our videos that you watch, because of course you're going to watch them all. And subscribe. Subscribe so that we feel nice, warm, and cozy inside because people love us. Right? Anyways,
Sure.
comments, subscriptions, and we always have many more videos that are following this video. So, follow along, check out what we have in the future, and until then...